called the window of tolerance. And essentially, the window of tolerance is basically the levels at which you can sort of function normally. So if you see that little grey line in the background there, that's sort of within your window of tolerance. So sometimes you're going to be stressed. You get, be sort of approaching this upper limit of your window of tolerance. And sometimes, you'll be quite relaxed, possibly even a bit sad. You might be sort of lower down in this sort of space. I guess the key thing is we're always sort of remaining within this window of tolerance normally. So, you'll have ups, you have downs, but nothing there is going to, cause sort of any sort of symptoms perhaps or trauma. Then we sort of add in a traumatic event. So this could be you've done first aid in a traumatic accident or emergency. It could also be something like a bereavement, especially a traumatic bereavement. So there's many other things. I won't go into details, but you could probably, think of your experience of life, and there might be one or two things which you might say have been traumatic for you. And we see this, it kind of has a bit of an effect on your sort of positioning within this window of tolerance. So you can actually get to the point where you actually go beyond what you can tolerate. So this, in this diagram, is called hyperarousal, where you're sort of stuck on. We could also call it a sort of mental health crisis. And some of the sort of symptoms we commonly associate to post-traumatic stress disorder might sort of fit in that category. So inability to sleep, insomnia, it could be sort of hypervigilance, always being alert, and it can also affect the body. So you can have the digestive problems, pain, and very sort of startled. You might have tensed muscles. So all of these things that they're sort of, you're stuck in that fight flight mode. So you're kind of like ready to run from a lion or a tiger, except in this situation, I guess the tiger is not sort of something we can run away from. So if you're stuck in this period for too long, you can also develop things like psychosis. If you haven't been able to sleep for a long time, that's a common sort of factor there. So we do need to perhaps reach out for support if we are in this sort of hyperaroused space. There are things we can do to help bring us back into the window of tolerance. And some of the exercises we're looking at later will be sort of examples of that. So particularly things like the trauma release exercises that can get you back down to that window of tolerance again. Yoga, that's quite effective, I guess, at regulating your nervous system. On the other hand, you can actually drop down. So if you're stuck off, or we'd say like a chronic freeze, sometimes I think depression can be sort of mixed in with this or confused with sort of hypoarousal. So you're outside of that window of tolerance, but in a way that you're just feeling completely sort of flat. You could be sort of dissociated from your feelings. It's a sort of, I guess, adaptation your brain does to try and protect you, I guess, from some of the trauma. But in the process, it shuts us down. And like this sort of person here, you might not be enjoying life to the full extent. So sometimes we might need something to bring us back into that window of tolerance where we are down. So we've got, for example, mental health swims are going to be talking about cold water swimming and how that might affect you. And other examples of how you can remain within that window. I guess one of the things with post-traumatic care is actually recognizing things. So learning to recognize when your muscles are tense so that you can relax them, and learning to recognize when you're sort of heading down and you might need some support to get back to that sort of even keel again. That's your sort of window of tolerance diagram there, which kind of put things in a little bit of perspective.